Hello my fellow strawmen and welcome back to the Fields of Hay. In many of my past videos I've searched out questions that theists have and done my best to answer them. Today I want to flip the script and ask some questions of the theists. I've compiled a list of 5 of my biggest questions for them. I've done my best to make them relevant to why I have trouble believing in God's existence, so I hope that any theists listening will at least find them stimulating. No questions about whether God can make a rock he can't lift, I promise. My first question is simple. Say you have a personal experience that you're convinced is of supernatural origin. How do you tell the difference between that origin being divine versus demonic? I suppose the obvious answer is that you go off a feeling, but then what about demonic forces which tempt you with offers that appear good? What about divine forces which want to put you through a trial that appears demonic? What method can one use to tell the difference, if there's a method at all? For question 2, I don't believe in the existence of an afterlife, but I concede the simple possibility that I could be wrong. If an afterlife does exist, then perhaps judgment is based on our faith, or perhaps on our actions. If we are to be judged by our actions, how confident are you that the actions you base on faith won't be judged in a negative light? This question is in some ways about adding a column to Pascal's wager. If there is a judgment such that holding onto a faith belief is viewed negatively and sends you to hell, while withholding belief is looked on more favorably, then aren't you risking everything to believe in God? Next, I want to address the concept of objective morality. Some people believe in an objective morality because they believe in a God who has laid down moral laws. Others believe in a God because they see such a being as the only explanation for the objective morality they think exists. My question is for the latter group. How do you demonstrate the existence of objective morality without referencing God in a circular argument? All of the morality I know about is related to the opinions of humans, which are by definition subjective. What am I missing? My final 2 questions are about the role God may have played in our creation. If God exists and is an intelligent designer of life, then there would be no limit to what creatures he could create. Manticores, mermaids, griffins, crocoducks, or any other mismatch of animals would be on the table. Yet when we compare the animals we see alive today, we find that their features fall into a very specific nested clade pattern. There is no mix and match of entire organs glued onto different creatures. It is a pattern that is exactly in line with the expectations of evolution, and would be infinitesimally unlikely if the families evolved separately or didn't evolve at all. So why did God create life to fit within this pattern when it would easily have been within his capabilities to do otherwise? Lastly, I have a similar question about the genetic code. The genetic code is really just our name for the proteins associated with the ribosome which match up triplets of RNA to individual amino acids. There are 64 possible triplets which need to be matched up with roughly 24 amino acids, so there are trillions of potential combinations. An intelligent designer could easily tweak the genetic sequence to match any change to the code. It'd be like translating from one language to another. So if this designer created many separate kinds, why did they reuse the same code? We find that bacteria and plants and mammals all use the same code, but if a designer was entirely capable of doing otherwise, why didn't they? Why choose to create life in the same pattern that would be necessary under evolution? So if you believe in God, I would love to hear your answers, either in the comments below or in a response video. And if you're an atheist, I'd still like to know whether these questions are similar to those that made you doubt belief in God. If not, what questions did you have? And regardless of which group you're in, when you're done with this video, don't forget to go read a fucking book.